Hi everybody, we are going to get started with the January Club Q kit that is called Let Your Soul Shine. So you can see here I have a sample finished and I will walk you through it step by step. For those of you that have been Club Q members for a long time, I appreciate you being a member. We have a sneak peek for your next kit for February. And if you are not a Club Q member and you are interested, I'll give you a sneak peek here as well for February. So Club Q is our monthly kit club where you get brand new kits every month. We have new papers for next month. This is called Venice paper line. This is what's coming out in February. If you do sign up for Club Q, it is $32, free shipping, and you always get 2 double page layouts plus a paper pack in the mail. So for your $32, no more shipping, it's all free shipping. You get 2 double page layouts, a paper pack, plus you get extra benefits like having an instructional video like we are going to do right now for each kit. And then we also give you a 10% discount for Club Q members on our other things on our website. You can preview kits, you can opt out, you can skip months if you want to. But right now we are going to get started with the instructional video for Let Your Soul Shine. So I always do the cutting first, all the cutting diagrams. I have all of my little die cuts punched out here, so if you haven't done that yet, you might want to pause and get some of those punched out. I'm going to move these out of the way, the February kits. Those gorgeous purples, I love it. Move these out of the way, and then I will get a new kit moved in here. We're going to work on these right now. So if you don't have your die cuts punched out and kind of piled up to the side ready to go ahead and pause it, get those ready. And we are going to work on page 1 to begin with. The first thing we normally do is all the cutting diagrams. So there's 3 cutting diagrams that's on a paper like this, and they're usually pretty simple diagrams to follow. But I'll walk you through step by step so that we can get all of our cutting diagrams out of the way first. Your 2 background papers are going to be this chevron paper, so I'm going to have that handy. And I'm going to move my cutter in here, and we are going to do the cutting diagrams. So let's just start with the one that is on the front page here. So we want a star paper. And with this one, we do need to pay attention to the orientation of the paper, because on the other side is a stripe. So I believe we used one of these, and the stripes need to be going the correct way. So with that said, grab one of the star papers. We're going to have one of the stars up in the right hand corner and one of the bigger stars in the left corner. Once you have that, you can slide it into your trimmer, and we are going to cut out, actually back up a little bit here. We're going to do, since this is a straight across cut, we are going to do that cut first. So let's turn our paper so that we have a star. So essentially we have it turned this way. We have a star at the bottom right, and we are going to cut this 4-inch strip off there. So we'll go to 4 inches all the way across, and then we are going to cut at 6 to make 2 4x6s. Put it in at 6, trim down the middle, and you have 2 4x6s that we're going to set aside. Those are used on page 2. And with what is left here, we are going to slide this in and cut a 5 by 7. So we want to take it over to 5. Turn it and cut at 7. So then we have 5 by 7. This little piece is just extra. And this 5 by 7 is being used on page 1, the one that we're working on. Okay, the only other cut on this particular paper is this little banner here. So we just need to cut, it's 2 inches wide. So actually I'm going to turn it this way, have my star facing towards us so that we cut it from right here. And I'm going to go into 2 inches. Your star is down here at the bottom. Go into 2 inches, trim, turn that. And if you do this, if you cut this on a different part of the paper, it's still going to look beautiful on your page. It will still match. So if you have cut it at a different, with the paper at a different orientation, then that's totally fine. It'll still work. So we are cutting at 5. And then with this, to turn it into a banner, I am going to just put the 2 corners together. Hold it here. You don't want to crease it all the way. Just kind of fold it over. And from that corner, you cut back up towards your hand. And that makes a perfect little dovetail there. So again, you just put the corners together, hold it to where you're not creasing it, and then trim back up towards your hand. Okay, we'll set that one aside. Okay, so on the other side of this, we have 2 cutting diagrams, and we'll get the busier one out of the way here. So the other star paper, we are going to cut some strips. 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. So we'll start with 2 by 12, move it down, 2, oops, and 2. So then you have 3 2 by 12 strips. Go ahead and set those aside. Those are going to be used on page 1. And from there, you need to cut, you have 6 inches left in this paper, and you need to cut it at 8 inches here. So with this big star at the left here, cut at 8. And then what you have left at the end is a 4 by 6. This is for page 2. This is for page 1. We'll use the stripe side of that. Okay, your last cutting diagram, we are going to take your script paper and just cut a 9 by 12, and then you have a 3 by 12 left. So let's slide it in here to 9 inches. Trim. You have a 9 by 12 and a 3 by 12. So we are done with the cutting, got that out of the way. I'm going to move my trimmer because I don't think that there's any more cutting throughout this. So and then I am going to set my instruction sheet right next to me so I can glance over it easily to be able to place things where I want them. You can see on the back we have marks to where we are going to add things, but you can just follow along with the video, but I would have this on hand so that you can check it out as you go. So for page 1, I am going to move in one of the, and if there's any of the tabs left on your papers, go ahead and trim those off. We are going to switch this out here, and I'm going to make page 1 first. Make sure that that's in the, put up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so for page 1, oh, also, I didn't mention, as we go, You can chalk things up with any color you choose. So on this kit, we actually suggested aqua, feather gray, and black licorice, which black licorice is becoming one of my favorite colors. It's a black with just a little bit of greenish blue in it. There's also River Rock, Coal Miner, Babbling Brook. There is a mint color, a winter mint that would match. So lots of choices. I'm actually going to, so we're going to use our strips here and chalk some things up. I'm also going to grab my 9x12, and that gets centered in the middle of your paper, and you can go ahead and glue that down. Unless you want the edges chalked up, you can definitely do that. So I'm going to chalk these up in a few different colors just so you can see. This is the Coal Miner, so that's kind of a darker gray that matches with this. I won't do the whole thing, but you can always stop and pause your video and do the entire thing. Okay, so the first step, you want to actually take this 9x12 and you put it in probably about an inch. Let me see what it says exactly on here. It does not have to be exact. I don't work in exact numbers, but I work in abouts. But if you want the exact number, you want to put it in an inch from the left side of the page. So we'll go ahead and put that an inch in. And then the next one overlaps it a little bit, and you're going to want to use the stripe side. Overlaps about 1/4 of an inch. And then I will chalk this one up with black licorice. So this one's a little darker, and it has kind of a greenish blue tint to it. It's really pretty. Also, any of the browns have worked with this as well. The mocha, amaretto. Sorry, we have a train going by. And those of you that do our online events, our live online classes, you know that when a train goes by, we always give away a prize on our live events. If you haven't attended one of our live events, we would love to have you join us. We actually have one February 25th, 26th. Check online. We have live events going on all the time, so check that out. But you get lots of stuff at each event. We ship it to you, and then we go live and walk you through step by step. So it's a really fun day. We give you lots of prizes, and every time a train goes by, which on the weekends when we have those events, there's lots of trains, so we give away tons of prizes. Okay, so the next step is to add your 6x8 striped paper from your diagram that you cut. That is going to go an inch in from the right side. And then your 5x7 will go right on top of that. Feel free to turn these any way you like. So if you want the stars up at the top, the darker stars at the top, that's totally up to you. A lot of this stuff actually gets covered up with photos and words and tags, so you put the orientation however you would like. Okay, so after that you have, the only other cutting you had, which I did beforehand, is to cut out all of your words. So these are ones we're going to use right now. This just gets cut down the middle on each side. And let's see which one goes first. So this is the one that's going to be on this page. And what we are going to do is that goes just at the bottom of your 6x8 striped paper. But before you glue that down, you want to use this as a little bit of a pocket. So I would just put a little adhesive on maybe the ends for right now. That's really all you need to kind of hold that on there. And then we are going to tuck tags and things down into it. So all these little words, this is a little bit time consuming to trim these out, but go ahead and trim out your little journaling piece and your banner pieces and all your separate little words here, and just have those ready. If you need to pause the video, you go ahead. So once those are, I'm getting my little pieces here. Looking for my tag. Here they are. Okay, so you have little frames, you have a tag, and then you have for your words up here. And remember, chalk these up as you go. Or you can pause and chalk everything up at one time. Your little journaling piece goes on here. Go ahead and hear that down. The words, let your soul shine, they get glued to this white little piece. That was from, the white piece is from your laser die cut, or your laser cut. Now these, I have Babbling Brook here, which I think looks beautiful. If you want something just kind of this color but a little darker, you can use aqua. Chalk these up a little bit around the edge to give them some color. Now in the picture you can see that we have some paper behind these frames. That's just a placeholder to show you that that's where your photos go. So you don't actually have those little pieces of paper to go behind there because you are going to put pictures behind there. So you can go ahead and get these lined up, and this is where you want to glance at your instructions. Let's get your little banners. So when this stuff starts going on, glance at your instruction to see your instruction sheet to see exactly where you want to put them. I don't glue anything down until I have it exactly in place, and then I have I know where my photos are going to be and stuff, so that I'm not covering up a photo, or if I need to make more space, or if I want to change something around. So I'm going to tuck these in like it is on the picture. And then once you have things in place where you want it to be, go ahead and what I normally do is I snap a little photo with my phone, and then I sit it up here so I can see it, and then I just start gluing the pieces down. But if you want to glue it as you go, that's totally fine too. So I have this glued onto here, and this gets tucked in just almost to the edge of the striped paper here. One of your longer frames, you have a little square one and two longer ones. One of your longer ones, put a picture behind it, and that goes up here. This one, after you have a picture in it, gets tucked in here. Remember, chalk these up any color you would like. And move things around if you want to. This is just kind of a guide to go by, but you definitely can move things around so that it fits your pictures better. Now these stars, I love these stars. If you've already watched the video for the other kit for this month, I showed you how to put some extra color on these. And you want to fold on all the long lines, and then the short lines, they kind of fold in. The best way to get these to stay on your page is to use a pop dot or a glue dot in the center here, or you can use little glue dots or a glue pin on the corners and press those down. So before this is too 3D, we are going to, or folded too much, we are going to use our little adhesive bling to put on there. Put that right in the middle. And then I'm going to use black licorice, and I'm going to make these creases just a little bit darker. It's hard on the dark paper, but on the white paper it definitely shows up. It's a really fun look. Okay, and then that first big star, again, use a Pop Dot glue stick that goes right next to your journaling tag. You have little flourishes out of your bigger frames, and I left those in until I needed them because they kind of get hooked together. They're a little bit delicate, but if you already have yours punched out, just grab those from your pile. They're probably a little bit tangled up. We have one large one that gets tucked in here, one small one. And these you'll have to use a little glue pin since they're so small and skinny. Put a little glue on the back, and you don't have to cover the entire thing. A lot of times I will just take it and I'll do maybe a few dots down here, a couple dots here, and then tuck it in, and that is enough to hold it on there. Okay, once you use those, I take this out because your frame you're going to use on page 2. And one of your smaller stars is going to go down in this corner. With your single little flourish here. Just tucked into the side. And page 1 is done. So we will get page 2 going. Oh, you know what I did forget? Let's see, what did I do with them? So our embellishments always come in neat little bags like this so that your embellishments aren't just floating around your packet and getting lost easily. So one brad goes into the top here of that. And then I'm going to move this out of the way. Move in page 2. And get working on page 2. Okay, so you can see, oops, let me grab my sample here. Okay, page 2 looks like this. And we are going to first use your 3 by 12 script paper. I'll pull my directions up next to me so I can kind of glance at it here with where things go. So grab your 3 by 12 script paper. And that is going to go, it says 1 3/8 down from the top edge of the page, but it's just about 1.5 inches. It does not have to be exact. That is going to get glued across there. Then we have our little dovetail piece, little banner piece that we cut ourselves. That is going to be centered there, and it's going to be about 1 inch from the right side of the page here. Now we have 2 4x6s, or actually we have 3 4x6s. What you want to do is make sure that you have one where the stripes are going, oops, vertical, and then the other 2 get used on, take this up here, on the star side, just like this. And I am missing one of these little pieces here. Let me find it. Oh, you have another 3 by 12 that was in your kit. This is going, before you glue this down, this is going to go about 1.5 inches up from the bottom. So you have strip here and a strip here. And then you have your 4x6s. Put some pictures behind your frames. Those go on here. And these actually line up. So they're about 1 inch from the left side. And this is about 3/4 of an inch Actually, I'm going to go in just a little bit. I'm going to put that in 1 inch as well. And your frames with pictures in them go on just like this. And an easy way to get pictures to fit right behind here, I lay my frame onto my picture. I trace the outside on my picture, and then when I pick it up on my picture, I can cut just inside that line that I traced, so it fits behind here just perfectly. Okay, you have a star that goes down in this corner. Again, fold it so you get 3D. Put some glue dots behind it. Let's move this up just a little bit because we have our strip that goes here and a jewel that goes in the middle here. You have leftover jewels, save those to make a new kit with, maybe with your extra paper pack. And then you have your flourishes. The smaller one goes down towards the bottom. And your larger one goes up the side. Oops. Now you have 3 words. And what I did was I cut just a little dovetail, and this one's a little bit too skinny to fold and do the trick. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Just cut a little off the end. Get these lined up. Once you get your little dovetails cut in the end there, we are going to put a brad in the end of these. It doesn't have to go all the way through your page. It is just for looks, so you'll just want to put the brad just barely into the end of it, and I'll show you here. If you have a paper piercer, I would pierce a hole. I don't have one here with me right now, but I'm just going to poke this in, and then since it would fold out and you would see it, you can either fold it out, trim that off, or I just fold both of them down to the inside. Put some adhesive and glue it down. Do that for all 3 of them. And then you're done. This is a really simple kit, but it is fun to put together because it looks like there's a lot on the page with all the busy papers that are on there. There's leftover pieces that you could use. These would make great tags. Punch a little hole in the top. Great tags. These came out of your smaller frames from this page. But lots of leftover pieces so that you can use for another page. I hope you enjoyed January Club Q, and I hope you enjoy February coming up with brand new paper line. I'm excited about it. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a member, and we will see you next time.